Officially, it's Assignment Tuesday. That is the thing that we're supposed to do today. It's not that complicated, and I was debating, should I do the pedestal thingy at the bottom without shapes? I thought about it, and I don't think I can, mainly because of that highlight. So just because of the highlight, I can't achieve it as I wanted to do, but it's feasible. The only thing that I need here, let me do that. I need multiple variation. I need that can crop it with this, could work. Yeah, if I get a regular gradient thingy that is going from that black color from one side to that highlighted color to the other side, and then it's like here to here, right, as backgrounds, and it's sharp, whatever. And then on top of that, I'm adding like a secondary one that is going to take the background color, which is the same thing every time. That thing is going to take an angular gradient, which is going to be sharp as fuck. I think that's for the top section. And then I need the second one, like a secondary of this same thing, but it's going to be on the other side. So just rotate it 90 degrees and then place it somehow here. And that can be smaller. And that's my bottom section. And then on top of that, you just have another one that is the same color as the top section. And that thing is going to be a radial gradient, and it's going to take somehow middle point. I just need to add this value here. So that technically where I need to put my sharpness thingy, the sharpest thing option right there. And then I need to extend it to get the point where it needs to be. That's gonna be here. I think I extended it a tad too much. And now you have your base. But what I don't like about this is the highlight right here, and the fact that the top of the pedestal is not a how can I say that? It's a gradient in color, but not exactly a gradient in color. It's annoying overall. That's the outcome. So yeah, that's the thing. But it works, and I can just duplicate that secondary one, making sure that the outline is a tad further out, and then ensuring that this thing is a tad smaller and not in the same position. So like 1 pixel on the side, itch right here. So that should bring stuff on the outline-ish right there. Like it's this. That's what it needs to do. But it needs to be just one side, not two. Oh yeah, no, the marble thing, I will later. My goal is to have the least amount of layers. Right now we have no layers. It's just fills, which it's bad. It is bad. Right? That's the truth. It is bad. Anyways, let me just get rid of that and add that to my base background, meaning that if I don't have that, we have this visible, and that should be enough for now. I need to do these. As I said, that it's really simple. Overall, we have 2 times the same basic shape, which is 2 cylinders right here, and then 3 balls. The balls themselves have a bit of a challenge when it comes to their inner shadows, but other than that, pretty simple. So that's 3 circle, and these are weird. There's also like a lot of fall off colors that are gonna bleed into the next shape, and that's gonna be a bit of a challenge-ish. Going back to the rod things, as said, this is really simple, and we can do it in 2 ways. We can have the same thing that I did at the base, which is we create one shape, and then we have this darkest version with an inner gradient, or we can just have an ellipse right there. It works. It's the same thing, but it depends. It depends on what you want to do. So for me, it's going to be really simple to do just that. I'm just trying to achieve the right end position to match with my elements. And then from there, I'm just going to duplicate that right here, get rid of these points, and then join that to that. On the other side, hope for the best in terms of placement, and we shall be good. Same thing at the bottom. It's the same shape thingy. That and the center is going to be annoying. I'm just going to tell you now, that is going to be annoying. However, the bottom section and the top section is going to be the same thing. The highlight is going to be easier to do if I do that with a shape rather than an inner shape, like inner gradient, as I did the base. So I'm going to see about that. That shape is just bad. Something about it just doesn't work. I don't know what it is. It's something not good, something. Oh, you meant like that. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that point. I think we could, I need the shadow. This one is gonna piss me off at the bottom. This is gonna kill me. This is gonna kill me for sure. Let me just be better on this one, just a tad. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. The shadows and all of that are gonna be on the pedestal anyways, so I should be fine. I just have a bit of a doubt for this one. It feels like it's gonna need a shape to be able to achieve that highlights transparency thing. Debatable. We'll see in a second. So let's get rid of the source image so that we have our base pedestal. But it's made with nothing, so I do appreciate that. Let's change my gradient. I feel like it's supposed to be black up to here to up to here. I lied. And then it's gonna be this. So it's already lighter. Cool. I feel like I could go darker. So it's gonna be a gradient right here. This is gonna be a gradient, but then we're gonna have the radius thingy. As I said, it's gonna piss me off. That's a fact. I can't deny that. That is gonna be annoying. Ah, really? That much? Ah, I shouldn't do that. I was about to say, let's take the yellow from the top. Not gonna happen. Not just yet. The main reason being, if I take the yellow from the top from there, I'm getting a fake value, and that's not what we want. It is what we want, but later, not right there. This one is gonna be annoying. This one is gonna be based on something different, and that is darker than what we have in the first place. How? Question number one. How do I do that? I'm gonna first take my real ball color so that I'm good on that, and then this entire thing is gonna take radial gradient. That radial gradient is gonna take the position and angle that we have and expand it a teeny tiny amount. Do I need to smooth that? See, that's the first good thing. Yes, I thought it would work. It didn't. So I have a bit of an issue with this because the shadow itself has a bit of a point where it goes in when it's not supposed to do. I feel like this is gonna be a radial gradient inside, but it's a curved. That's why I don't like it. It's a bit curved. So yeah, it's really much more flat. I feel like it's more likely to be this, specifically because of the point in the middle. Like this highlight right here is really much that color. Then the transition between the two is shit right now. I feel like because of that shape right here, it's why it's pissing me off. It's not supposed to do. It's supposed to piss me off, but not that much. Do that right now. Add one of these as a radial gradient right here. Can I get the fucking right color, please? I think I need to force it. Yeah, it's gonna need that. Also, it has, as I said, it has the fall off bounce thingy at the bottom that is coming from the glass disc, acrylic disc. And so it's lighter right here and it has a bit of reflection. But in order to achieve this properly, I am gonna have a lot of issues. I think I'm gonna need a secondary of these, and it's gonna take the highlighted version right here, and it's gonna take this. Yeah, the transition doesn't work. That is fucking annoying. Let's do white. Let's do white at like 10% as a starting point. I feel like it's gonna help. I'm gonna hate it, but it's gonna help kinda. And then here, if I add one of these, can I do that? No. Yes. No. And nowadays Figma has added the thing, and now instead of having solid color transparent, they are giving transparent solid color, meaning that every fucking time that I'm doing a radial gradient, I need to swap the orientation of the thing. It makes no sense why they decided to do that. Just a pain for me specifically, but I guess for everyone maybe. Annoying. Annoying, bitch. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Derail myself for the thingy update from Figma. It is good when you are creating a UI element. It's a great addition to your speed. Like you can just click a button, you have the thing that swap. Great. If you're doing illustration like I am, which is not supposed to happen in Figma in the first place, I understand why it pisses me off and it's not taken into consideration. Still, when you're doing that, it's just a mess. But I get it, I understand, and I don't really mind. But then the thing that I was about to say, and then my brain just went into something else. The thing that they added only work if you are on a very specific type of shapes. If you have a weird ass shape like we have right here, for example, the gradient rotation doesn't exist, even though it should. Giving me the ability to just rotate the thing should be like that with the button. It should be here by default, but no, because it's a weird shape and it's a rectangle, they don't want to do that. And it's the same thing for other shapes. Like it's just, if it's, as long as it's not a rectangle, it just doesn't work. So not really happy with that. I forgot that I could do that, and I will do that in a second. We good. Really? Okay, that's what? That's a mistake. That was a mistake. Cool. Let's not, shall we? Let's make something a bit more natural. On top of that, we need one of these that is gonna have a linear gradient that is coming from the bottom. It's gonna be flat right there, and this is gonna be with an overlay type of situation. And then we have a bit of a less opacity. That is a detail, like it's not really necessary to think about it just yet. I think it's gonna be a tad further up. And then on top, we need the same shadow effect that we had a second ago on the other one. So this is an inner shadow that is taking the pure black kind of blue thing from the top. So I'm going to take this one. And the thing that I don't like about this is because the shadow is coming from the side right here, or the light source is around there. We don't have a shadow at the top here. So the positioning is going to be fucking annoying to ensure that we have this thing properly placed. But we have the ability to use the spread, which is what I'm using right here to ensure that this thing is pretty well placed. Needs to be a bit sharper. We'll see that in a second. Let's duplicate that shadow, make it smaller and a bit more on top. I think it should be darker than this. And once again, there is like a bit of a overlapping that needs to happen. Cool. So my highlight here is gonna stay at the bottom. I want to do a secondary gradient for the full black session thingy. So that's gonna be on underneath right here. And I'm gonna use, I could use a flat. Then again, it's not fun. Let's do that. Let's highlight it up until somehow here. Yeah. And once again, because of how things work, this one is gonna need like a 10%-ish thingy, and this one is at 0, so that we don't have a very sharp transition in between the two, even though we already do because of this one. This shape is really sharp. I really want like just that, but darker. And I think if I just go a bit down on the lightness, it might be good. My brain reminded me of something. Forget about it. There will be like an on-top gradient addition. That means nothing to you right now. Let's add a layer blur on these. Add somehow, I think like 1 maybe, just to smooth the edges. But that way we have a bit of a better transition in our shadows and things, and we don't have the real harsh stuff. These are my blurs. They're going to be locked, and then that way I can now take my highlights and make it like highlighter. That would make it a bit better overall, because we have so much fall off of the blur to get the balls in order. So need to bump the brightness, vividness thing. I don't know exactly how to say that. Not really happy with that. It blurs the section a bit too much. It's not due to the blur itself. So it is. It's I wouldn't say fun. I say it's better when you have someone that you can rely on, that you know the skill level that they have and their ability to do the thing that they are supposed to do. That's pretty good. I am tempted by a gradient, meaning that now I can do that 3.5 again and 79.5 again. So this blur thing is gonna only tag my shadows. It's supposed to. Why the fuck are you here now? Sorry, that's why the thing worked. Yeah. Want to blur that section, not the rest. It half work. Don't like it that much. What I don't like is these 2 marks. Don't make sense. Let's take care of this one, shall we? Oh, for fuck's sake. That's gonna be somehow here. I need 1 there, probably 1 here. We're gonna have highlight, right? Knowing the angle being somehow 45 degree, like that. Cool. I really need to find a way to get that fucking transition to work closer, better than the top section, and I basically need the same code on both in order to have my transition work, but apparently they don't want to. And then this one is gonna need to manually blend in before the line shows up. That's basically my goal, achieving that. Yeah, that's pretty smooth. I'm impressed. Cool. That was the base. That's a pretty okay highlight thingy. I think the transparency needs to be there, and then I think the blur. Yeah, but sometimes some people, and me included, I'm not immune to that. There's this thing where if I tell you what I'm working on, I'm not working on it after one. As soon as someone else know, I'm like, what's the point? No need for that. So yeah, I do understand not wanting to disclose things too fast. Yeah, for me, it's just if even like the thing is the icon course that I tried to do, and I'm saying try because it's still not there. I shared it with my sister, and as soon as I did that, the will for me to record the video, write more stuff, do all that just disappeared immediately. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. Good morning, good day. Nothing much, technically. Nothing much. We are creating balls. That's what you missed. We are creating balls. Yeah, maybe. It's a bit of a highlight, like it's a weird situation, this thing. It's gonna be this, but it's not. Like it's not that bright. It's not that much either. Like I can do that though. Can do that. Yeah, let's copy that, paste it here. It's not strong enough in the transition right here. I think we need a similar option to get the effect, but yeah. I should have done that. I'm a dumbass. I should have done that flat and then rotate the whole thing, but I didn't. Yes, it was the same. Can you fucking decide to be flat? Like right here? Thank you. And that thing is supposed to be like a highlighted option thing, and I feel like it's gonna be a gradient on an inside node right here. It's gonna take that color there. Yeah, kinda. I don't think 1 point is gonna be better on me. Alright, this rod is fine. There is a bit of a need for something right here that is weird. It's a bit of a shadow drop thingy added. So I'm gonna attempt that. It's gonna be that color right there as a, oh, the inner is gonna be that. Yes, that is true. And that is gonna be from here to somehow there. Something like that. Lol, that is really dark. That's crazy. How can that be so dark? Because 100%, that probably is the case. The reason, the why, the all that. Okay, so this is gonna be somehow here with that there, and then we need the height to be somewhere here, please. Thank you. So now that we have that, I can potentially feather out that so that we have the kind of blur that we have here just a bit. It could be a big element so that we have a bit of a bigger drop, but also it seems, did I say bigger already? It seems bigger. Let's say yeah, it's gonna do it. Okay, I need another one for this one, which is gonna be the same technically. That one though is gonna take this at 0%, and then I'm gonna be somehow here. That angle, kind of flatter-ish, more blue, more diffused, top thingy, whatever. Because I know that we have the blur on this one. I don't really need much details, so just gonna take that, apply that. Kind of good. I don't like the way that that is working. I think we need like a different transition in between these, a bit more subtle. Anywho, I think that's enough on the other shapes, which the one that is important is this one. Because this one is gonna piss me off. Gonna take that gray. It's gonna be a radial thingy with a sharp-ish thing. It's gonna be somewhere around here, right? So it takes that. And then on top of it, I'm gonna have an other gray. The thing that I don't like is the fact that this gray here is a gradient from darker gray to lighter gray to have the transition work properly, and that's not an option really. So I'm gonna see how I can do that in a proper way. I doubt it's gonna be an easy thing to do, but then on top of that, in order to get the transition that I want to have and the effect to work, I feel like it's gonna need somehow more blur on top of it for the transition thing. Bottom is pissing me off, not gonna lie here. Not really good. So let's do that with a gradient that's going from here to here. And the top section is gonna be fully transparent. And even if we're going to the middle, I'm gonna do that fully transparent right about here so that we have a bit of a fall off thingy. Gonna get a bit less there. I think the border is gonna be this thing with 2 radials. So somehow that was full transparency around here, and then the second one is going to be at the opposite side right there, but it's going to be lighter. It needs to end here, like at the bottom, because it's where it touches the floor, so we take that into consideration. Same thing at the top, trying to achieve the same central section that just is faded. Could have been an inner shadow to get the transition a bit more faded and blurred, but I think I'm gonna blur the shape itself. 2 points. It should be fine. We should be okay. That's a good idea. I have a feeling that this is gonna need another one of these. Yeah. Oh, that looks like shit. Yeah, I was right. A blur of 2 or 4 good shit right there to get my transitions. It's hard to get this entire thing working properly. I think we're pretty good. I feel like this section could benefit from a bit of a shadow, like a drop shadow from the sphere on top right here. And then we need a drop shadow on the pedestal. And then the texture is going to be hard to create, but yeah, let's do that first. So let's add, that fixes it. Add one of these and put it here. Yeah, it helps just a tad. It could be darker apparently. Cool. So let's duplicate that. Secondary one, smaller distance, better placement, all that, you know the drill. Yeah, that is just, it's not the best though. I really think the best thing that I've done in terms of transparent squiggle, this one is made in Figma, and that squiggle being really transparent is really fun to have because it has something in the background, so you can move it around and it has the, you can see the font in the background, and it's really nice and it's really easy to do. Anywho, back to the original thing. Something, I don't know, something, the bottom is gonna piss me off. The classic. This is gonna be it's gonna be radial again from here to here, probably somehow like that. It's not even gonna be from here to here, it's gonna be from here to there, right? Somehow, something like this. And that is the reason why I think I should do these with shapes and not with a radial gradient at the bottom, because the shape of the shadow and also the distance, the blur, the entire thing, it's probably going to be better if I shape it rather than having what I just said. You can do the thing that I've been doing on my profile lately, if you haven't checked that in a while, like all of the papers of the recreation of things that are supposed to be like physical. These are good exercise. Ah, it looks like shit. Ah, sorry, I can't just have this. This is enough, but it's not great enough or good enough, or it's a start. You know what? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Also, the music is really big at that instant, so yeah, it's a bit strong. Ensure that the blur, for example, is gonna be blurred enough. I think that's the shape with a bit of a dimple is better, but then right in on top of that, I need to take that color, take this as a base, take that color as the outcome at 0. Make sure that this is a radial thing, and then flip the entire thing to make sure that this is coming from here to somehow here, and then it needs to be like really small to go up to that. That seems really not good. I think that with a layer blur, maybe a layer blur 2 or something could potentially work, and then from here I feel like I should extend that. It seems like way too much of a shadow. It's fine. So what am I missing? Now, if I'm just taking these two as references, other than the marble texture on the pillar, I feel like the shadow on the glass, the drop shadow, is not good enough. There is a bit of a reflection that I didn't see right here. There is a shadow on the other side and a bit of a, as I said, reflection. Yeah, the grain on the pillar is going to be a bit of a complicated thing because I didn't do it as in a shape. So I'm fucked when it comes to creating this thing properly with the grain. I need to now create the thing as a shape, which just so I can drop the texture on. It's gonna be the noise texture with the splatter thing. Metable option, probably a size smaller somehow. It could be even smaller. It could, but that is gonna be like a multiply slash overlay situation. A point, I think it's gonna be at the bottom. The top section though, the marble at the top is not really, doesn't really have a texture. So I think I can do that instead, just take the angle at the top. I also noticed that these 3 points that are not aligned. Now this one is going to be in the center. Can ensure that this is here. That's pretty good. It doesn't really go on the other side. That's the thing, which it's not supposed to. I guess I'm going to have to do that to get a transition between the two, but it's weird as well. It's a bit too strong, even though it's at 10% already. So that's really not the greatest. I feel like my yellow is not vibrant enough. It's more sun. I feel like it's because of the blur overlay. So I'm gonna just saturate, give it more saturation, more vibration in colors that are not supposed to be. Things should be better. As I said, the pedestal thing, pillar, the highlight is really bad. Like that thing, I can't do something good about about it, I think I agree with that as well. So I think this one is going to be needing that as a 2, maybe 3 for a highlight. It's going to be white. It's going to have one of these go from here to here, and then that secondary one is going to be white as well, but it's going to be transparent, and then the entire thing is going to have a bit of a blur. Diffuse the ID, maybe 1, and it's a tad strong, so 22% maybe. And yeah, you're right, the shadow on this thing is gonna need to be darker here, and the left side of the pillar, you think it needs to be darker? Yeah, maybe. It should have been a shape. I'm gonna say that now. Should have been a shape, because the way that I built it, it's just not a good idea. Yeah, that fucking shadow is pissing me off. It's supposed to be further out. It's not supposed to be that. Once again, because I can't apply a gradient on top of the pillar, it's annoying. What am I missing? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's just the top of the pillar is pissing me off because it's not the right thing. Not enough, Skywalker. Not enough.